Hi, supervisors. I'm Nato Green. The comedians are here. I am, I believe, the only actual mom-and-pop landlord who is speaking today, and therefore I can confidently say that I speak on behalf of 100% of all mom-and-pop landlords. When I say that I support this legislation, I am the president of SPORC, Small Property Owners for Reasonable Controls. We are a pack of insignificant landlords. And we believe that as landlords in San Francisco, we are not special. We are not particularly good at being landlords. If we were good at being landlords, we would go somewhere where it took talent to be a landlord, like Detroit or Vallejo. We have it too good. We have too many rights. Things have been too easy for us, and it's time for that to change. We didn't do anything to deserve these incredible assets that we have. I have one rental unit in my house. I'm exactly the kind of person that you were talking about, Supervisor Wiener. And, you know, yeah, maybe we do something. We put in some cabinets from IKEA, but we didn't make the city as valuable as it is. It's like we discovered a bucket of gold doubloons in our yard, and suddenly we're rich now. Let's pretend, for the sake of discussion, that we all know what a yard is. We don't have that here in San Francisco, but I've read about it. And I think there's a sound legal argument for this, because our legal system is based on the whole idea that you should have the liberty to do what you want as long as your exercise of your rights don't hurt other people. And what hurts other people more than evicting them? That's why in San Francisco we have led the way in legalizing things that don't hurt other people, like gay marriage, weed, and Mexicans. And we need to criminalize things that do hurt other people, like evictions and Walmart and the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival. Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Kate Willet. I'm a stand-up comedian. I've tried to stay in the city for a long time by also working in software HR, so I know more about JavaScript than any of my stand-up comedy colleagues. I moved to San Francisco in 2008 as a young queer woman. I came out of the closet and moved into a literal closet to be able to stay here. I'm sure that a lot of major corporate landlords think about the impact of evictions on their tenants. Maybe they briefly consider the tragedy that evicting seniors, working class families, and forcing artists out of their homes has, but at the same time they have this brunch to go to. Maybe landlords see that people have other options that are being evicted. Maybe evicted tenants could move to other cities, move into drug-filled SRO motels, or they could just think of some cool life hacks. But I think we need this legislation. The Apartment Association expressed concern that rent control laws are going to inadvertently benefit really rich people. While the facts show that long-term tenants are mostly low-income residents, which include many senior citizens, they're concerned that it's a bunch of really wealthy people with a passion for shabby chic decor. As we know, many wealthy people enjoy living in rundown apartments with 6 roommates because it's really a bohemian. So I guess we do have to worry about that. In all seriousness, I think that we can pass this legislation, or we can become a social experiment of a city and learn what it's like to have an entire city full of programmers. So thank you, guys.
Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Calasich. I'm also a stand-up comedian. I live in the Richmond district, although I am very certain that my face and body type makes it look like I live inside a mural in the Mission district. I'm here to talk about the moms and pops that we've been talking about the landlords. I took some time to check out some of the websites for the SF Apartment Association and other landlord organization units, and I just want to learn what they're about, you know, like really just get a feel of them, and went to their FAQs, just like really concerned about what their questions are, what their top concerns are. Question 3 on their FAQ page, how much can I now raise rent this year? So that seems like very invested in San Franciscans and their tenants for sure. Questions 1 and 2, incidentally, were just about basic computer functions and internet functionality. Question 1 was like how to print forms. Question 2 was how do I use this drop-down menu on your own website. So that makes me think that perhaps the SF Apartments Association and I do have more in common than I thought, which is a distaste for technology and tech people in general. I don't know if landlords have a lot of experience with this. My guess is yes, they do. If you think it's annoying to win an argument, to try and win an argument against an impassioned artist, try winning one against a borderline autistic programming tech dude. It does not work. I have dated them. I promise you, it will not go the way you want it to. If it was your dream to build a city of robot nerds, way to go, because you're killing it. I'd like to turn to an adage from a childhood book. If you give a mouse a cookie, he'll want a glass of milk. That's how it goes. So if you give a tech guy a cookie, he'll 3D print an inflated sense of ego and probably erase his browser cookies to hide his porn history. That's all from me. Thanks. I've been Nicole.
Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Matt Lieb, and I'm one of those tech guys you guys are all demonizing right now. I am the co-founder of an app that customizes the Google autofill results. Me and my friend Horatio created it together. He lended his name. The app is called Autofillatio. And not to tune my own horn, but it's probably going to make me a lot of money. So as a future rich person, I've been noticing we've been talking a lot about income inequality and whatnot, but I think we're really losing sight of the issue here. The real issue is how difficult it is for me as a future condo owner to actually visit the properties that I will one day live in. I've been looking at these beautiful properties, these future condos in the Mission District, and I don't know if you're aware of this, Supervisor Campos, but every future condo I go into, I'm met with the same thing, every single one. Every time I go in, I'm met with a working class Latino family yelling at me in Spanish for interrupting their dinner and calling the police saying that I'm breaking and entering. I don't understand what the issue is. You know, they act like they own the dang place, but they don't own, they rent, so that's different. By the way, it's not my fault that every future condo I go into is usually locked by a deadbolt or a padlock gate. Sometimes I found I had to climb through a window just to get a glimpse of my future home. You talk about fairness. Is that fair? Some say I'm a criminal. I say I'm a forward thinker, you know, I'm always 10 steps ahead, you know. I know a lot of you guys think of us tech guys to be a little self-aggrandizing, but me and my autofillating partners, you know, we don't listen to cynics. You know, after years of back-breaking work, I've almost completed autofillatio, and right now, I'm barely kissing the tip of the iceberg, you know. By the time, you know, my success is near, I can taste it. So, you know, if I'm a criminal, then so are the landlords.
Next speaker.
Your Honors, if it pleases the court and the jury, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Juan Medina. I am born and raised in San Francisco, California. And I would just like to say, hola, amigos and amigas. How is everyone doing today? I've been listening to a lot of people talk, and I've got some charts that I think might help my little speech. Here's an image of a person with the amended.
GTV.
Can you get that? This is what a person would say. If you guys will amend this thing, here's an image. If you don't, I think it's pretty conclusive. It's not a good idea to do that. You know, I wish this Amendment Act existed when I actually live in Oakland now, surprise, right? I've been the victim of gentrification. My parents will tell you that they kicked me out because I didn't pay the rent, but I know gentrification when I see it. And it's no laughing matter. I live in Oakland now, which is a pretty good place to live, you know, if you don't make a lot of money and don't mind violence, and it's all right. That's what I'm trying to say is, you know, I know what's going on in San Francisco. There's a lot of brown people here, and, you know, it's America, right? If you can't afford to live here, what are you doing here, right? That's okay. I guess I understand that. I can't be upset. Yeah, that's appropriate. I really should wrap it up. Here's a good point, though. Moving old people is mean, all right? We shouldn't do it. These people are the most vulnerable, and they're really the pillars of our society. We should protect them. Here's a chart, startling information for some of you people. That's right. Did you know that the longer you live, the higher your chance of becoming an old person increases. Thus, meaning we will all be vulnerable. Protect the old people, please.
Next speaker.
Thank you. My name is Sean Keane. I'm a Goldie Award-winning stand-up comedian. Also, I work at a nonprofit because what goes better than being an artist in San Francisco than no profit whatsoever? I am sympathetic to what the landlord said about this initiative. There's some speculation that if the proposed legislation passes, it will be difficult to determine what the free market rate is for an apartment, and that's true. Where would you find those free market prices? Like Craigslist, the newspaper, the landlord's own rental listings, perhaps their personal tax returns? I don't know. It's really confounding, and I'm not really sure how that would happen. There could be a great deal of unintended consequences of this act as well. Homefulness could be on a rise at an unprecedented rate. You could see art. You could see bodegas remaining instead of being replaced by artisan grilled cheese restaurants. And who wants that? I need a $14.50 premium grilled cheese sandwich if I'm going to make it. On a personal note, I was forced to leave my apartment in the Castro in Mr. Wiener's district, and I got an apartment in the Mission, meaning I was both displaced and a gentrifier simultaneously, so I do see both sides of this issue. Since I left that place in May of 2010, it's been sold twice. Twice it's been sold, so I don't think there's a lot of stability in the neighborhood. And again, I would be speculating, but I think that that is a great deal of speculating, and unfortunately, that is the only speculation that I can afford to do. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any additional public comment on item number 5? You can just come on up, Mr. Gullickson.
I hope you'll be as funny, Ted.
I was going to say, I can't believe I have to follow that. Which was very awesome. What I do want to do is reiterate what's been said before, and that's that the vast amount of the Ellis evictions are being done by real estate speculators. There's a dirty dozen who are currently doing more than half of the Ellis evictions in San Francisco right now. Their business model is to buy rent-controlled apartments, kick out the tenants with the Ellis Act, and then sell the units as tenancy in common units, all within a very short period of time. The legislation being introduced by Mark Leno in Sacramento is very specific to speculators, and tenants asked him to do it because we knew it would essentially end Ellis evictions in San Francisco. And what it says is that you have to own the property for at least 5 years before you can do an Ellis eviction, and that's because virtually every Ellis eviction is done within 5 years. Certainly the vast bulk of them, 80%, are done within the first 2 years, and the bulk of them are done within the first year, with the curve getting closer to the day of purchase. So the bulk of the ones done in the first year were actually done in the first 6 months of ownership. So landlords are not using the Ellis Act. This is being done by real estate speculators. It's an abuse of the Ellis Act, and and they make millions, as was testified before. So the amount that we're talking about here for relocation is really chump change to the great profits that they make. So we definitely urge that this be passed unamended. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Collier.